Hi everyone, it's Kim. Thanks for joining me. The seasons on my craft desk are definitely changing from summer to fall, and in particular, Halloween. Fall is definitely my favorite season of the year, but by far, Halloween is my most favorite holiday. And I know Halloween is a holiday that people either love or they tolerate. And today I want to share with you some card samples that are fun. They're not gory, they're not necessarily even spooky, they're just fun. And I want to start with one that is maybe more of an adult themed Halloween card than one for a child. So, our little martini glass here, this is a new collection from Spellbinders, and there's 3 dies in this collection. I'm using 2 of the dies here, and there's also a holiday or winter holiday Christmas die set, but we're only going to look at the Halloween today. So the majority of these dies come from the Booze Cocktail set from Spellbinders. Lots of dies in this set. And the one that I was ecstatic to see is this skull hand because I could think of so many things that we can do with this. So we're going to see this a fair amount this year, but don't be like me and be so excited about this set that you forget the main set, which is the martini glass and the liquid for the glass. That's in the olive martini. So you do need this as like the base set, and then Booze Cocktail is the add-on set, and again there's a third add-on or second add-on set for the winter holidays. So this set, you can see what it contains: the glass of liquid, and then the olives, the sage. We'll go over what all these other pieces are. So my card, I actually got online and looked at the Spellbinders website. That's when I first saw this, and I did basically copy most of the card from their website. I just fell in love with this. My background is different, but how I colored the bubbles and the martini itself is all from their website, and how I laid the card out is again from their website. But I've got so many options here. And then for my Making Spirits Bright, that's actually from Better Press. A while back, I had made a bunch of the sentiments. I cut them out. So now I'm digging through those and using them as I need them. So Making Spirits Bright is actually from the winter holiday set called Merry and Bright Sentiment Strips. So if you look at this, they're basically for Christmas and the winter holidays. But I thought, Making Spirits Bright, that's perfect for this card. So that's what I pulled out and used. Of course, I couldn't stop with just one, and I wanted to use some of the other pieces in this. So here is another one. And this time I'm using the witch legs and the witch hat. And then I'm pulling from the olive martinis, the olives. So it's great. I can mix and match the different pieces of the set. And when I look at this, really on both of them, I could use all these pieces separate if I didn't want to combine them, say, for a Halloween martini. My cat is one that I made quite a while ago from the Infinite Doodle set when we took a look at that, where we just had all those pieces and we could mix and match. And I thought that was the perfect size for this glass. This time, Happy Halloween is my sentiment. Again, another Better Press. This time, let's look at the right one, is the Halloween icons. So I had all of these that I can letterpress and then die cut out all at once. Run this through a couple times, and now I can just pull out the sentiment I want as I need it. So there's a couple ideas to get us started for the martini glass, but we should probably just look at the martini glass by itself, because if we want to make a martini glass without it being Halloween themed, we can just use the olive martini die set. So again, I did have to look up and research martinis a little bit because I'm not much of a drinker and I have never had a martini and know nothing about them. So this was my cocktail onion olives. I knew this was a thyme that they're showing here. And then this is a lemon twist, or some of the drinks had an orange twist, so you can change that up. and then just some flowers to go with it. So if you just want to make a fun drink related card for someone, you can. I use this one for a birthday card. Once again, another Better Press sentiment, and this is from the Always and Forever sentiment strip. So this is just a bunch of different holidays, more generic, something that we could use year round. And again, you letterpress them all out and die cut them all out. So if you run it through a couple times, die cut them, then you've got a bunch of sentiments ready to go when you need them. And I had to make one more martini glass because all I could do is envision the Count handing the martini glass to us. So what I did do this time, I did something a little different with the drink. When you cut out the martini glass, it just gives you the outline and the stem and the base. So the inside piece here falls out. And there is a die for the liquid. So we've got the liquid in like the top part of it that goes around the flat part of the drink. But I thought, I don't want to waste my gold paper. So when this fell out, I actually just kind of trimmed down this top piece and I could just set it back into my glass. And I thought, that might make for a little kind of a dirty martini look. And who better than, again, the Count to serve that to us. So I like this because I love this Count. He is from Tim's collection. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. This is called The Count. He has been a lot of different people online. I've seen him used in a million different ways. But I needed to change up his arm because he stands here with both of his arms behind his back. And that's kind of hard to serve a drink. So what I did was I just cut off his one arm here, right at the shoulder, and then just cut out a strip of paper, kind of curved it to hopefully make it look like an arm, long enough to hold the drink far enough away from his face, and then just cut out this teeny tiny, like kind of half of an oval to be his hand. So it appears that he's handing you the drink. And celebrate the season. That again is from the Merry and Bright sentiment strips. So even though we think when we read it this way, we think of, Christmas or a winter holiday, but here, celebrate the season, I think it's pretty obvious we're celebrating Halloween. So I will continue to have fun with this martini glass and use it in different ways, but I will definitely be having fun with this skeleton hand, and we're going to obviously take a look at the skeleton hand again. Okay, so let's go to some fun cards. If you're into gnomes, last time we looked at this set, the new Mushroom Mansion, but I figured, we can change up the Mushroom Mansion and make it a haunted mansion. So just with a few change of colors, I made it more for the Halloween season. The gnome that goes with this collection is the Garden Buddies. Again, all I had to do was change his colors up. He is now a trick-or-treater. And I wanted to give this guy a little mask just because he has eyes. Unlike most of them where we just have the nose and the beard. I love his eyes, so I wanted to take advantage of that. I knew I had this older die from Tim. This is called Masquerade. And I had all of these masks. So I'm like, I know one of those will fit him where his eyes will come through the holes there just perfectly. So he's got his mask on. The moon is from a Tim die, and the pumpkin is from, I believe, the little trick-or-treater set that he has. I just needed something small enough, so I just pulled those out. The stars are basically are generic. You can use any star set and really any moon. And then for the car, this is from last year's Spellbinders. This is the Gnome Drive Holiday. So there was, again, the several holidays. There is a Halloween gnome set that I could have incorporated some of those pieces on here. But I wanted to use the car. And it was just the perfect size. Like it was parked kind of in front of my mushroom mansion. So that all worked out good. And then the last die that I have that's new is from Elizabeth Craft. and it is this background spider web. It is called Spider Web Slimline Background. Has the web plus a couple spiders there, but I just cut it in black. It's sparkly, but it kind of is more in the background. It doesn't take over my scene. But now that it's Halloween, I can pull out my spider web and start using it. Okay, let's go on to another one that is a nice witch. And a witch in front of a moon is always a good choice. And the witch is new from Spellbinders. It's basically mainly one piece, and then we can add the hat and the shoes, and then this pumpkin is a separate piece. So there's not a lot of pieces to this. It's called Witch in Heels, but she's a young, flirty little witch there. She's one piece, easy to cut out, and then again, the hat and shoes are separate. So if you want to cut those out of something different and then attach them, you can do that. So this one was very, very simple. The moon is from last year's Moon Mask from Tim. Again, I have used this year round, and there is also a die, the moon die. So if you have the mask, the stencil, or the die, either would work. And my clouds are from an older Halloween set from Tim. I just had that handy, so that's why I use that. But again, whatever clouds you have, if you want to add clouds, would work. And the Happy Haunting, I just have been pulling out of letterpress again. That's from the Halloween icons. So it's great to have those ready, and all I have to do is pull them out. So this is a very, very simple card. And then I wanted to go back and use that skeleton hand again because I love that from the martini drink. So again, booze cocktails. And you can see how I'm using it with the spider web background. And then this time I did use a spider from this set. And this was so simple. Most people aren't into spiders. I can't say that I am a lover of spiders by any means. So eek is usually a perfect word to combine with a spider. But this isn't a dark card. This is a very bright, sparkly card. So eek comes from, I believe this was last year's Big Frights set from Tim. And, you know, if you have a collection of Halloween dies from the past, pull them out and use them because they always mix and match with the new stuff. So I want to talk about this skull hand real quick, and I want to show you how we can alter this a little bit. This one looks like it's ready to pinch something, and I wanted to open up the fingers a little bit, and this one finger, let me turn this back around, is so long, this forefinger is so long, I thought, you know, sometime I might want that finger to be a little shorter, so how can I change that? So I want to show you real quick how I can alter this very, very simply, and we can even alter the thumb if we want. So let me just pull this out. This is how quick and easy it is. If you want this finger to be a little less curved. So I'm going to basically cut this at the knuckle, and I'm going to cut it at the base of the knuckle. I just take my scissors and kind of go around. If I need to smooth that out a little bit and even cut it down a little bit, if I feel like it's just a little too large, I can do that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and none of mine are, let me tell you that. And then I've got this piece here. I can trim that down, but usually what I do is just take the top of that finger, and then I can move this around, and if I want to pull it down, I can do that. So I can place this wherever I want. And then if I do say, okay, I'm going to trim this down because I can see that poking out. And I'm going to leave this because I'm going to glue on top of that. So let me just add a little glue there. And then I'm going to take, and then you determine how you want to position that, but that really shortens that finger and allows you to move it in a different position. So on this one, now it can hold my eyeball, where on this one, there wasn't enough room for my fingers to really hold my eyeball on the outside edges. So easy way to do it if you want to do the thumb, same thing. You can just cut around the knuckle real quick and straighten that up if you want. And you can even, if you want, cut down here on the base. If you want to say, open that up, move the thumb out, just cut down here and glue it back on, reattach it. So you can change how this looks from the original hand and hopefully get a lot more use out of it, putting into whatever the scene is and whatever you might need those fingers to hold for your card. So for the rest of this one is just kind of an oddball that came together. I wanted to play with the hand. I had this paper with an eyeball in the rose. I don't quite get that. But I thought, okay, I know I have an eyeball from this candy set that my hand can hold on to. This is from last year, Trick or Treat. So it was just a good size eyeball for my hand to hold. And then I've always loved this other die. And I thought, now that I've got a skull hand to come through it, I'm going to use it. This is from quite a few years ago, and this is called Claw Marks. So it's just a nice opening, different size opening that I could use for my hand to pop out of. And then I see you, the letters for this are from a new Tim Vault Halloween die. So we haven't taken a look at that yet. I will put that on the product list. But I do love that font. So there's how you can alter your skull hand if you need. And then, of course, let's go back to some more cute. This is a pretty easy die, very simple, from Spellbinders, Woof or Treat. Of course, I had to get it because I have 2 dogs, and I thought, well, I better make these dogs in the personality of mine. So Willow's a golden, so this is Willow here. Jolene is a one-of-a-kind Heinz 57, so this is Jolene. Willow will come and happily take your candy. Jolene, on the other hand, she doesn't care if she looks like a ghost or something else. And in addition to candy, if you have any sticks laying on your yard, she'll be happy to pick those up and stick them in her little pumpkin basket as well. So I wanted to personalize this. Those are sticks hanging out. I made my own candy here because it is so small and I didn't have that small of a die. So basically I just laid out the yellow, orange, and white strips of paper, small skinny strips that's probably less than 1/4 of an inch, and then hand trimmed it out. So those are by no means perfect corn candy, but I think you know what they are. And then Trick or Treat is from, I think, again, this is from last year. The sentiments from Tim, bold text Halloween. I could just place the die on there and cut that out. And then I colored a piece of white paper to put on the back, more like a piece of corn candy. So pretty simple, pretty fun. And then it just went great with a piece of paper that I pulled out from my stash to make it a doggy trick or treat card. And then we also have, in addition to the Woofer treat, we have BB Cameron's dogs and kitties. So I thought I'm going to pull that out. The dogs are somewhat the same size. So that worked out great. And I could decorate these with the hat from Boo's Cocktail. They fit perfectly on these 2 dogs, and this is the pug from the Party Puggles. And then for my big pumpkin and the corn candy on this one is from a die. That is from Halloween Wreath Add-ons. And this was a collection from last year, which I guess I didn't even realize that. The wreath, and then it had like 3 or 4 add-on sets. So this is the Halloween add-on set, but I can use all these pieces on their own to decorate other cards, not just a wreath. So the corn candy was a good size to put into the pumpkin basket, which is a good size for my dogs. And then again, This witch hat is really large, so we'll take a look at that in a minute. But the witch hat from Booze Cocktail is perfect for the dogs. And again, you don't always have to have a white sheet. So this time, this guy has, to be more like a witch, he has a black sheet, not necessarily maybe a ghost. And there's that great moon from Tim again from last year, the moonlight die. But again, if you don't have the moonlight day, I could have used the stencil for the background. So whichever one you have, if you have both, you've got a choice. If you have one or the other, either one would work perfect for the background. The other thing that I've kind of been hoarding, waiting for Halloween to get here, is this paper pad from Crafter's Companion. And let's see, this is the Cosmic Collection, but it is so ideal for the summer or for the sky. I didn't cover up the back so you could see the back. So the front and back are different. I'll just flip through this real quick. So it's not necessarily a scary night sky because most of the colors are fairly bright, or I should say maybe intense colors, but it is so perfect for a nighttime sky. So I'm going to get a lot of use out of this paper pack for Halloween. And then, of course, if we do BB's dogs, we better give equal time to BB's cat. So here's the kitty, and this is from the Big Cat Die. So if you recall, this is a large cat, and I decided I'm just going to use the head. I don't necessarily have to use the whole body. So that's what I did. I cut out on this main background die just down to about here, a little below the neck, because then I figured I could trim it up if I needed to. Put the cat together. There is an add-on set for this, and there's a scarf in the add-on set, but I didn't want to go dig that out. I was too lazy. So I just used this piece here, which is probably more just like the front fur of the cat under the chin on their chest. So I thought I'm just going to cut that out differently and kind of use that as my scarf. So that worked. And then my hat comes from the Halloween wreath add-on. So now you can see how nice and big this hat is, and it really fits BB's cat, and I'm sure it would fit the pug, the big pug, just as well. And you're wicked cute. Oh, obviously, Halloween comes from the Halloween icons. So that gives you a little introduction to Halloween for this year. I'm so excited that it's finally here. Some of the new die sets are out, and I am thrilled with some of what has come out because we can do a lot, whether we pull out our dies from previous years and mix in with the new stuff that we get for this year. And out of all of these dies, I have to say, I love the skeleton hand because I can just see and I know I have ideas for what I'm going to do with that. So if you're into Halloween, now's the time to get started. If you're not, I hope you enjoyed just some fun aspects of Halloween today. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video.